And now for another episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic. With your host, novelist, filmmaker, and authentic psychic, Dave Thompson.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave, and on today's episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic, I'm going to take a look briefly into the reasons why your manifestation or your magic may not be working. There are several reasons that I can go into off the top of my head as to why somebody's magic or somebody's manifestation may not be working. Basically, simply put, the secret is you're pushing your version of reality out onto the consensual reality around you. This takes a pretty good energetic boost. Sometimes you can get a boost doing this by calling in a deity, such as a god, an angel, a demon, what have you. Sometimes you're just pushing this energy out yourself. There are certain methods you can do to push that energy out. And I found some of the best methods is being in an altered state and then just sending energy to that event that I wish to have happen. I lasso that event and then I drag it towards me. That's the simplest one. Sometimes though, if you're in a situation where the people around you, friends, roommates, family, they don't believe in what it is you're doing, that energy of doubt can be stronger than your energy of pushing it out there. And it may cause problems. Because what happens is when you are trying to work in an environment in which the people around you, either they're against what it is you're doing, they make fun of it, they have their doubts that this stuff is real, what happens is their energy of doubt can't override your energy in pushing your manifestation out into reality. The whole key here is to push your version of what you wish to have happen into the consensual reality that's around all of us. Consensual reality is what we all agree that what a reality is that. And if you're around people who, for whatever reason, they have this disbelief, they have their own worldview, and their worldview is such in which what you wish to accomplish won't happen, it's not going to happen. So, from that point of view, if you're in a situation like that, get with me. I know some tricks you can do that can assist you in this. The other thing we can look at is perhaps not enough focus. I'm looking at my script down here. Sometimes you will lose focus. It has nothing to do with how bad you want the thing to happen. It has nothing to do with whether you're putting it out of your mind or not. It's the losing of the focus during the act of manifestation, be it simply imagining what it is you wish to have happen, bringing it towards you, firing off a sigil, visualizing what it is you wish to have happen while working a ritual. When you work a ritual, when you fire off a sigil, when you focus, you need to do so from an altered state. And that altered state is usually the state of alpha, which is a light, dreamy sort of state. I find I'm in that state for at least a couple of minutes after I wake up of a morning. And unless there's an alarm going off, unless there's a phone ringing, I can stay in that alpha state. I can hold it and I can do some energy work. Because that's the other thing I wanted to talk with you about today. But let's continue with troubleshooting your magic. Sometimes what you're asking for may be so far outside of the scope of your reality potentials that it is not going to happen. And by that I mean any one of the potential timelines that you're existing in, that you have a choice of, that event is not going to happen. And then you have to say, okay, well then I have to push it out there to make it happen. And sometimes you have to push it so far out towards what I call the event horizon of the timeline that it's going to take a little while to get to you. And one of the things I have heard from other people who have channeled, who have done channeling of beings, they say that everything you ask for is delivered. However, sometimes, often, it is not delivered within this lifetime. If you wish for it to be delivered in this lifetime, you sometimes have to get help. When I do a magic ritual, I will call in another being, a god, an angel, a demon, what have you. And as an aside, I want to tell you right now, demons are not the monsters that modern storytelling make them out to be. I see this all the time online. Somebody will have this real ugly looking thing and they'll say, this is a demon. I go, yeah, no it isn't. I'm going to do another episode just on working with demons. To continue, when I do work for other people or for myself, I will enlist the help of a being, an entity. What they get out of it is they get my attention, they get company. I will hang out with them for a little while. I set up the atmosphere in my space so it is conducive for them to show up. And with very few exceptions, every time I've called upon a higher being, a celestial being or cosmic being, they will show up. Other people don't have that luck. And I don't know what it is that they're doing different than what I do. I have my own techniques. I have several books out about working with Apollo and working with Aphrodite. I worked with Apollo a couple of days ago. In this video clip, right now, you're seeing me as I'm working with Apollo. And as he arrived, you will notice in this clip that the incense smoke starts doing something different, starts doing flickering around and poofing around. That's because his spirit is now in the room and he's tending to push the smoke out around towards me, actually. The other clue that I get, I'm in a space right now with no air circulating, and the light and the candle lights, the candle flames begin to flicker and kick and move around. That's when I know they're there. I do account for the fact that I'm breathing. As I breathe, air flows out, but I'm typically about 3 feet away from my altar when I do a lot of this stuff. I'm aiming my voice upwards so it's not really affecting it, and then I'll sit quiet for a little while and I'll wait, and then it'll continue. Then I know that's an honest to God phenomenon happening. Then to continue with with troubleshooting your magic, sometimes you're putting too much in the way of the magic or manifestation to occur. You could be saying something, the affirmations some people will use, and I've seen them before where they'll say, in its own perfect time, in its own perfect place. Go, wait a minute. You're dictating to the universe, you're dictating to your higher self that you don't really care when this happens. And because of that, you're not putting a deadline. It's going to take its own sweet time coming to deal with you. And that's just the way that is. Sometimes you put more stuff in the way of it occurring. I had a client who wanted this, who had somebody who owed her money, and she put restrictions in the way of the magic. She wanted this person to give her the money out of the goodness of their heart. They weren't going to do that. If they hadn't paid her by then, they're not going to pay her. So I said, we've got to remove that. It won't happen. But no, she insisted. I did it that way. We gave it 90 days, still nothing. I said, let me do it my way. I did it my way. I didn't charge her for another ritual, but I did it my way, and bam, the event took place, the event occurred. The reason is some people need to be pushed a little bit. Another thing I wanted to talk about with magic is that all of it has to do with pushing energy out there. You're pushing energy out there to affect the reality around you, to bring you what it is you want. You have to have a way for that energy to get to you. You have to have a way for that item to come to you, or that person to come to you. If you don't, then it's not going to happen either. I see a lot of people that work magic all the time trying to get a lottery win. You have a better chance of finding a vaccine for this virus than you do of winning the lottery. So a lot more people have gotten this virus than win the lottery, but people do win the lottery. There are methods and techniques you can use, and other people have said yes, they've been successful with it. I just personally haven't seen anybody for sure do it that way. So that is it for tonight's episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic. Watching this on YouTube, I want you to go over here. There's a little button that says subscribe. I want you to press that button. I want you to hit the bell so that way you know when I upload another episode. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.